Howdy ho everybody, and welcome back to another Hearts of Azeroth. This is not going to be a playthrough, but this is actually going to be me showing off a whole bunch of the new tech trees that are in this game, because I have not played this in a while, so we do have a lot to cover. First of all, the quick mention of Quillboar over here that we're going to be loading into in a second, because the last time I looked at these, they were heavily bugged out and heavily annoying. Flashback to that Kingdom of Ogre, I believe, where it was incredibly glitched out. But now, their tech trees are actually working. Thank God! For the next time that I need to go do this, I'm going to be heavily grateful. It's no longer dead. Let's go. Right, as I was going to do, there's a nice tech tree here, where it's as normal as everything can be. First of all, high air, normal. Typically I'd go down here if you have less mechanical stuff, because this takes more of the mechanical side of, like, resources and such, and this takes just eggs, food. So depending on, like, what type of nation you're gonna make, depends on you. These, incredibly normal. We actually do have these, which I didn't get access to the last couple of times, which kinda sucked. But now that I have these, I might actually be able to make some more fun stuff here. So, yay. But, back over to here, you got the hero units. Prophet of... Wow, you know, I would have really loved to be able to use those while I was doing that run. Maybe I'll do a redux of it and make it again. Then you have the Raptor Knights, and then the Battle Guards, which Battle Guards seem to be the big, bulky units. They can go decently into... Ooh. So that gets rid of a bunch of defense, but makes a bunch of breakthrough and soft attack. That's pretty good. And then you can just get that defense back and have that with even more armor and more breakthrough. These seem to be the very fast, max speed cav units, and these are probably just the wizards, like always. Yeah. Then you have the Siege Works, which... A thorn... That's actually kinda cool. Hold on. Oh, and it does air attack? Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. I might need to do a Quillboar run here. Maybe I actually will do a redux. Then you have the Cav, which you have the armored battle boars, and the regular battle boars. There's not a lot to this, as you can tell. Like, ooh, those have a decent amount of heart attack if you stack into it, and a decent amount of health. Interesting. Then you have the infantry. You got your normals, you got your spearmen, then you got your people who throw arrows, and then your mages, obviously, and then a few things down here. These are your arcane tower focuses, and they're not in here. Unless there's two different arcane tower focuses? That would be a bit broken. A little bit funny. But then, moving on from the Quillboar here. Gotta go, grab our debug menu. Maybe you guys? Like, the only other one that I could think of that would be undead. Like, you're kinda normally undead anyway. Oh, okay, you're Vicryl. Well, this doesn't, you know, count, but hey, shit. So, you got normal air, as always, normal navy, as always. But we have the Vicruel Tech Tree. It's a thing, and I am so happy because, my god, seeing these guys with normal human tech felt wrong. Where we have Mammoths, Valkyr, and Shield Maidens, which Shield Maidens are a little bit of a... Okay, interesting. This could be fun. When you have the Siege Works, which we have the Harpoon Guns, and normal wagons, and normal caravans. The Harpoon Guns could be kind of fun. Where I think the Harpoon Guns get... yeah, more pierce from being a harpoon, pretty much. And then these guys, they just get soft attack or defense, soft attack or breakthrough, like all of that. But if we go down to the Cav, we have the very fun Bear Riders. If you ever played Wrath of the Lich King and you were up here a lot, you will remember the Polar Bear Riders. And then you have the Worgen, or the Wargs. And then you have this, which actually has upgrades for both. And they both upgrade. Dude! Okay, hold on. If I play a Valkyr game anytime soon, this is definitely going to be something I invest in. Because I'm pretty sure... Let me go read. You. Okay. So that's kind of hot. It doesn't... Does it add to the Mammoth? Hold on. It does. I'm making a Cav game. I'm basically being Winter Mongolia here. And then, you got the Marauder, the Harpooner, the Hunter, and the Runecaster. And then you have some Eagles, Falconeers. Normal, pretty much here. We have the Longhouse and then the Keep. Pretty much normal all around, except for the fact, I think... yeah. You have your egg one all the way over here, instead of, like, over here somewhere. Overall, fun tech tree. I like it. We can't go look over at the Undead, because they're refusing to exist in this build of the game. So I will just tag over towards Pandaria. Yes, Pandaria is in the game. Finally. And we have the Jade Statues. You remember that one quest from Pandaria where you had to go fight a little witch in the forest? No? Well, too bad. She's here. Normal air, normal naval. You do not have hero troops, first of all. You have a pretty much normal tree, just replaced with a whole bunch of jade and shit. With, like, workshop, blacksmiths, yada yada yada. But then here is the cream of the crop here. You have your Jade Tigers, which is your only unit, and, listen here, if I remember correctly, it's counted as basically half cav with its speed, meaning you can grab every single one of these buffs and make OP Jade Tigers to go annihilate the rest of Pandaria. Which, kinda cool. I can't lie. The only problem with this is I'm pretty sure this is really the only thing you're going to be building. So, if you don't like green, yeah, don't do it. But, it is a pretty cool one. It also does have its own achievement here for creating the Jade Empire, which I will hit. It only has to be all the Jade Forest, so from all the way up to here to down here. That's not bad. The most you would have to fight would be the Cloud Serpent Order, and then you would just have to fight, like, everything else here. Like, the, Go King Tribe, the Sangji, which would probably be the most annoying, because you have to get all the way over to the Throne of Thunder. And then the pearl fins, and then the sling tails, which would be kind of annoying to some people, but hey, is what it is. Let me go over to the blade spires. The blade spires I like looking at. We have the orcs and the ogres over here. We have already looked at the orcs, but we get to go look at the ogres, which very similar to the orcs here, where you have a whole bunch of stuff, but you have, instead of regular equipment, you have orc slave equipment, because they often enslave anybody that they find weaker in lore. And then you have the Rylax, which are real cool. And then it's just basically the same thing, except for, like, it's been orcified. Or, ogreified. You have the brutes, you got the maulers, and then you have your geomancers. They're basically just rip-off shaman. And these should have some pretty good defense and attack from the last time I checked. Yeah. Especially the geomancers having that 50% tick. Then you have your siege works with normal caravan and then it steals the demolishers from the orcs, which, hey, is what it is. Speaking of orcs, we have the Altar of Storms with the Ogre Magi, the Gladiators, and the Warlords. Warlords, big fat brutes. They have a shit ton worth of breakthrough and soft attack and armor. Then you have your Gladiators. These are your mediums, where they'll have a lot of pierce and a lot of hard attack and all that, but decently less defense. Actually, more defense, depending on how you spec it. And then your Magi class, with your Ogre Magi, who consist on only Arcane, because they are Arcane junkies, with a lot of hard attack, and a lot of defense, and a lot of anti-air if you spec into it. Holy shit, look at that. And then, the last one I want to mention is Fangrilla, or the Saberon, if you would like to load over. Thank you. Normal. Then you have administration, which is very, very work in progress, as you can see, where we basically just have the same tech tree as the... Okay, well, yeah, this is definitely heavily work in progress here, as you can see. Where... I'm sorry, do you have... Okay, so you have basically nothing to work on over here. So, what do we get? We get walls, lumber mills, arcane, churches, and nesting grounds, and that. And then that and that. But then nothing else after that. So we're just not allowed to do anything past blacksmiths over there. And then we have a whole bunch of stuff over here, which this would be your normal combat troop, I would assume, with a decent amount of soft attack and pierce on all of them. And then you have your hero classes here, for some reason, on the same tree. With your war bosses, your blade masters, which just seems to be like the same as orc blade masters. And then your claw shapers, which purely do fire damage. That's weird, considering you're in a jungle and you have fur. Do we just want to question that for like a hot second here? You know what? Whatever. We're not going to question that. But I do appreciate by stopping by and chilling out with us. I'm going to have to definitely edit this down because of that sitting here and waiting for so long. But I do appreciate by stopping by and chilling out with us. The achievement runs are definitely going to be coming back pretty soon here. I actually have a few to edit, which aren't going to be edited for a while because I have a whole bunch of stuff on my plate here. I appreciate everybody stopping by and chilling out with us, and see you all laters. Bye.